Hi beautiful people, it's Kate here. Welcome to Kate's Space. Today I am doing my day 8 envelope and I thought I would do it on video. This is something I did following Rachel from Roxy Creations. She had a whole lot of like receipts and checks and she turned them into these little booklets, and I realized, oh, I've got lots of checks and I could do the same thing. So she made little booklets, and she also made these little concertina envelopes. I will link that video down below. And then I thought last night, I wonder if I could use the checks like as in full size to make an envelope. And so I have, and this one's filled with lots of old ephemera and things. So that's what I'm going to do. So this is my number 8 envelope. Tomorrow I'm driving north, so my envelopes will be very simple over the next few days. I'm driving north to see my mum. Right, so I use these ones for this, and I'm going to use these ones. These are a slightly different size for this one. And then I had these which were out of an old ledger I had, and they're like the beginning pages, and I kind of like how they have these little tabs, but you could use anything. Like in this one I've used book pages and then put these little tabs on. Yeah, so this is what I am doing. I have measured this way. Right, I'm gonna tear that like that. I think that's the width I need. I'm going to have them poking up a little bit, I think. So I'll go with that. So I need them to be that. Folded in half. So I'll mark it like that and cut it. And so I'm going to make 3. I think it might be easier actually to go like this, won't it? Of course. Yeah. Rather than folding it. So make 3 the same. These have been sitting around for ages, so this is actually good to use them. So I'll cut these 2. Right, and I'm going to fold this in half like that. And this one in half. There we go. So there's my 3 compartments, but I want to see the next I want to see these. So what I did with the other one is I just marked that there, and I marked that there like that. I marked it up to where that goes. Yeah, so I marked that, and I'm going to cut to that point. Try not to cut too far. See if this works. Yeah, that's what I want. I mean, it doesn't mean anything, but it just, I like that sort of the officey look of that. Okay, so they're going to sit inside this part of the envelope, but they're obviously too big. You want them to be smaller than your outside envelope. So I'm going to just probably cut something off this end here. I'm going to make them come to there, so I'm going to cut them down there. Okay, that's that bit done. Right, so this is actually two checks joined together, I think. I've got 3 here. So I was wondering about whether I make it that a bigger flap. But on the back I want the whole check sort of showing. And then that sits like that. Or you can see that's not enough to fold over because you need that gap. And by the time we put these in here, like that, yeah, that's not enough of a gap. So okay, right, so I've folded over the bottom of the check that's going on, well, I guess you'd call it the back of the envelope, and I'm going to glue along there. Well, you can make these out of anything, it's just that, you know, I've got so many of these checks. I sell these in my Etsy shop, if anyone's interested. They're quite cool. Bits of New Zealand ephemera in actual fact. Right, so there, so technically that's the back of my check and envelope, and this is the front of my envelope. Yep. And then if this goes like that, you have to think about how much of a gap we need here, and that will look like that. Oh, that looks okay actually. Yep. But I'm going to put these in. Lots of fiddling around, but that's all part of the fun. Actually, see, these could actually be smaller, couldn't they? I don't want to cut anything off here though, so if I wanted them smaller I'd have to refold them, and I'm not going to do that, so that's okay. I'm going to leave them like that. That's going to fold over like that, and then this is going to sit here. Yeah, that's going to work, and that's going to come over. Yep. Okay. So I just have to decide. I think we'll go like that. That's what the plan was. So I'll glue here. This is just the art glitter glue again because it's quick and strong. Could use a glue stick though. Absolutely. Try and put it on straight, which I'm not very good at, and oh well, never mind if it's not too straight. How is everybody today? I hope everybody's well and happy and good. There we go. Yep. And I haven't really put it on straight, have I? But that's okay. Never mind. That's pretty typical of me. So that's actually quite big compared to the other one. It's a lot taller compared to this one. All these bits are falling out. It is. Oh well, that's okay. Maybe a bit too big. Right, so the next thing you do, so that's kind of our envelope. The next thing you do is with the glue stick, what you do is, oh, no, I'm going to use this glue, I tell a lie. I'm going to glue these together, these side bits. So I'm just going to run glue along here and along here. You could stitch them if you wanted to. And again along here. And the third one, right, so they're all glued together. Let's give them a bit of a burnish here, so they sit nicely into that fold. Okay, so now we join them together and you just get approximately in the middle. And join the three together like this. And I like the one at the back to be joined on. Stick that right in there as evenly as I can. To go that way a little bit, I think. And then you can decide whether you want this to open right out with your finished product or whether you actually want this connected to that front bit. I think I quite like it connected to the front bit, so I'm actually going to, excuse my crashing and banging, I'm sorry about that. I'm actually going to glue this onto here like that. And again, everything's a little bit off. So we could actually bring this down a little bit more in actual fact. I think I'm going to do that, even though that means I've got a couple of creases there. I don't mind. And I don't want to open it out too far because the glue hasn't stuck yet. Right, so there we go. There's our little concertina envelope there. That needs to dry. And I need to make a decision about whether I want this to be this big long flap. I've got a much shorter one here. And whether I want to put anything on the back here to reinforce it, because I am going to stick a eyelet in there. So I mean, you could put another check in there or something more decorative. Some ledger would be quite cool. Some ledger here that could look quite neat there. You're going to have the fold like that, or you could do it this way. Have it that way. I suppose that would work. Or you could have it in keeping with what you've got, or I could, there you go, register of directors could be like that. I might do that. So I'm going to cut this. I'm actually going to try, oh no, I'm not going to get R. Jennings right and Company in. Well, I could cut the one off, I suppose. So I'm going to cut it here. in here. That's about right. And I need it to be about just short of that fold there. So just there. So we could have it that way, but I like it this way because it's got a little bit of some writing on it. Take my pencil marks off. It's a very beautiful day here today, and my neighbour across the road has a new puppy, and today it was my turn because my other neighbour's helping her during the day, but she's gone to work, and I said, oh, I'll take the puppy out for a little tootle around the place and feed her. And so I took her down to the beach for a little walk. It was good for the soul. Baby things, little puppies and kittens and things, they're always very, I don't know, I like them. Right, I'm going to glue that on there. So that was a good thing that happened today. Thank you everyone who's been so positive and encouraging with the 100 days of envelopes. I've really appreciate. I'm going to turn that around the other way because I'm struggling there. I've really appreciated everyone's feedback, and you know, yesterday's envelope didn't really turn out as I had wanted it to. Okay, I'm really struggling to get anything straight today, so I'm just going to have to cut myself a break about that, I think, because I'm just not winning. Yeah, I had, you know, when you have something in your head and you know what you want it to look like, but it just, when I put the pressed rose down, all the petals started falling off it, and then, yeah. So I put the glassine over it, and, oh my gosh, that's so wonky. Oh well, there's not much we can do about that. I think the fold probably is wonky. So I'm just going to line it up with the top. I think that's probably my best bet. There you go. Oh, I still haven't got it straight. Wow. Okay. I'm just going to let that go because it's just not working for me. Right, and I'll just put a little bit of art glitter glue under here to never mind. I'm going to have to cut that bit off because I put this on so wonky. And then an eyelet here. And I'm using my crocodile, and I'm going to try and get this in the center. Let's see if I can get it. Sort of centerish. Yep, that'll do. And make a little mark here. And choose an eyelet. Ooh. I think I'll use the big ones again. A big one. So I'm just going to punch a hole with my crocodile, pop the eyelet in, and squish it. Give it a squish. How dry these are now. So there we go, we open it up, and I quite like that. That looks quite good. And then that's just that bit there hasn't quite dried yet, so it's pulling away from the back of the envelope, but there we go. There's our little concertina. And we could use some, well, with this one I've used the brown sort of Hessian string. To push through. But you could use anything. I mean, you could even use, that's not really quite the right blue, but say you could use something like this. I don't know what this would look like. Use a little bit of ribbon if you wanted to make it a bit more pretty. But I think I like the string a bit better. So there we are, little concertina accordion envelope. Made out of some vintage checks, but you could make it out of anything that you had. Any digitals or old paper, like it would be really cool in some wallpaper with some book pages on the inside. And you never know, we may revisit this. We have 100 envelopes to make, so let's face it, they're not, every single one isn't going to be different. So I may come back to this and do a different version. Yeah, so that's number 8, day 8. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for hanging out with me today. I hope you enjoyed that, and thank you so much for following along. And I'll see you again soon in the next video. Bye.